championship game for 10U, featuring South Shore and Bethpage. Starting lineups and reserves. First, for the visiting, number 26, the shortstop, Anthony Romano. Number 4, pitching, Logan Walters. Number 3, the center fielder, Jason Seza. Number 20, the catcher, Braden All. Number 7, the first baseman, Luke Kenny. Number 12, the left fielder, Anthony Boda. Number 1, the second baseman, Chase Pelkas. Number 5, at third base, Jack Filianino. Number 17, in right field, Caden Daly. Our reserves are number 44, Jude Lapertosa. Number 51, Sean Mack. Number 6, Nicholas Brissett. Number 15, James Hoffner. And number 19, Ben Salemi. Salemi.
I knew we'd get it wrong.
And the home team, South Shore. Number 25, pitching, Dean Scarangello. Number 29, the first baseman, Stephen Grippo. Number 17, the center fielder, Chase Curro. Number 22, the right fielder, Jake Romero. Number 12, catching, Peter Giacchio. Number 2, at shortstop, Joe Irachi. Number 23, at second base, Lorenzo Minio. Number 26, at third base, Gavin Snell. Number 24, playing left field, John Iacono. Our reserves, number 13, Alex Torres. Number 7, Jason Rocchio. Number 1, Jace Anderson. Number 34, Joe Barone. Now, will the players repeat after me the Little League pledge? I trust in God. I love my country, and I will respect its laws. I will play fair and strive to win. But win or lose, I will always do my best. If you will please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. Good luck and have fun.
All right, hello and welcome to Endicott, New York. We are here at Logan Field with my team media with the 10U New York State Little League Championship. It's a matchup between South Shore and Bethpage, and the winner of this game could dictate the state championship. Of course, South Shore, if they win the championship. Bethpage has to win 2 straight to take home the trophy. It's a double elimination bracket, and these two teams have played before. But before we give you too much analysis, just want to introduce yourself. My name is Tyler Rakin alongside Colby Smith, and you can watch this game on myteamstream.net. It is on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and on your smart TV using an Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, or Roku. Download the Boxcast app and look for My Team Media as well. So, Colby, what are you expecting to see from this game?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Bethpage, they're going to be a little bit shorter on rest than South Shore at this point, considering Bethpage played 2 games yesterday, just a couple hours apart, so they're going to have to try to come back and win 2 in a row today, which is no easy task at this age, whereas South Shore, of course, only having played 3 games here this week, so they'll be a little bit more rested and ready to go, but if you're Bethpage, you're ready to give it all you got for this one.
It will certainly be an interesting matchup. South Shore has all the motivation in the world to put things away in the first game, but Bethpage, well, they want some revenge. These two teams faced off yesterday. South Shore took home the win 17-7, but 7 runs is the most runs that South Shore has allowed in this entire, not just state tournament, but even going back to sectionals as well.
Up first, Bethpage.
So kicking things off, Bethpage, the visiting team, they lost the coin flip, so they will be up to bat first, and it's Anthony Romano, the shortstop, getting things kicked off. Starting things off with the ball. And looking there, so 1-1 count.
Romano just trying to stay out of the way of Starangelo here. A couple of high pitches, high heat on these first few, as now they count 3-1.
Not afraid to swing though either. Gets it into the outfield and drops a little bit early. A nice bloop. And Romano in for a single.
Up next, number 4.
Well, and Romano just had good placement on that ball, too. You had the shortstop playing up a little bit. Left fielder was back, obviously short field in Little League. But he placed that ball in the perfect spot where there was nobody there, and that's what you got to do here.
And it's impressive waiting on those pitches, but then on that first swing of the at-bat, gets contact and gets a hit. So now Logan Walters, who also pitches, up to bat for South Shore. Opens things up with a strike. It's always interesting. Little League is one of those leagues where you actually get to see the pitchers contribute on both sides of the ball much more than once they reach high school, once they reach college or the pros.
Is now quickly 0-2 here.
And a beautiful rip down the left field line. Makes it past the outfielder. Romano headed to third base. And a smooth triple for Logan Walters. Double, pardon me. But runners quickly on second and third base for South Shore. Such an impressive offensive team. You know, South Shore averaging 15 runs per game in their playoffs. So certainly know how to put runs on the board.
Well, and Iasono out there in left field kind of misread that ball, took an odd skip in the corner, and so he kind of had to go a little bit back on it, which led the runner to get to second. Otherwise, maybe it would have been first and third instead.
So now Jason Sassa up to bat, a righty center fielder with a chance to quickly drive in 2 runs for South Shore.
That one might have clipped him on the way by even. It looked like he held his hand back a little bit, but just the same, it's going to be a 2-0 count.
Yeah, at first I thought it hit Sassa's helmet, but it looks like it might have hit the bat or something else. And he'll take a swing on the next pitch, a nice blast into center field. And that will be a base-clearing single, 2 runs score, and a quick 2-0 lead for South Shore.
All you got to do in a case like that is get the ball into the shallow outfield here. Of course, like I said, your outfielders are going to play back a little bit with this being the shorter field with 200 to deep center. So he placed that ball in the perfect spot there in center field, and of course a single was all you needed to score two.
So Braden Ayul steps up to bat, and typically when you are the fourth batter in the lineup, you're not stepping up to bat with 2 runs on the board already early in the game. It's a 1-1 count for Ayul. Sasa still on first base. Sasa on second base, pardon me. And Ayul now facing a 1-2 count. Way to foul off there.
Seems like Scarangelo is having a little bit of trouble placing his pitches here in this first inning.
And another great contact there. A just solid hit into right field on the ground. Handled well by the right fielder Romero, though. So it'll be first and third situation.
Well, and in a case like this, you got to come out and settle your pitcher down. Of course, now you got 4 batters up. All 4 have made solid contact on the ball. Scarangello's gotten a lot of work in this tournament so far, even though this is only Game 4 that South Shore has played here. So he's probably feeling it a little bit. But, of course, this is about the situation that you need to come out as a coach and just kind of settle your pitcher down and say, look, we made it here for a reason. You got to get yourself ready. And we talked about it a little bit off air earlier, but maybe if you're South Shore, obviously you don't want to think about it like that, but maybe you are holding back a little bit knowing you have that potential for a second game later if Bethpage were to come out with a win in this first one.
And so South Shore has been playing somewhat aggressively so far. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a steal on second base and some difficulty in potentially reacting to it, but not a chance. It's a fly ball into left field. But he's safe at home. Jason Sasa checked up on third base and made it home before the throw, giving South Shore a 3-run lead, 3-0. First out on the board, though.
And all managed to advance to second on the throw to the plate there by Scarangelo, too. So now you got a runner at second with 1 out.
A swing and a miss for Anthony Boda. Strike 2 there. This one looking. And 0-2, that's the best count that Scarangelo has seen all day. Maybe a little bit of a confidence booster now, having a little bit of an advantage in an at-bat. And there was some contact there, but just a fly out to the shortstop. So now there's 2 outs, only a runner on second. Much better position in these last few at-bats for Bethpage.
Well, and it seemed like that mound visit really helped settle Scarangelo down a bit, too. He seems more confident out there on the mound. He's firing his pitches in where he wants them. Obviously, maybe just talking to the catcher a little bit kind of settled him down, but it can't help getting a trip from your coach in this first inning.
So a quick strike for Pelkos, down 0-1. But watch is an outside ball, and it's a 1-1 count.
Scarangelo just trying to work those outside corners a little bit, just trying to get his pitch placement down here. Obviously, with the Little League pitch count rules, you got to kind of find your groove early.
Only 75 pitches allowed in a game, so we don't typically see these pitchers go the distance. Maybe if it's a shorter game, they can squeeze it out, but you know you're going to be seeing multiple pitchers today, and you want to get rid of maybe a difficult one early.
Runner got clipped on the way by with that one. You got the umpire out there in the field signaling a dead ball. So that's going to take us through the end of the first inning with that being the third out. So Braden all on the base pass the third out. Bethpage puts 3 on the board, and they lead this one 3-0. Back to Logan Field here in beautiful Endicott, New York. Colby Smith joined by Tyler Aikens as we head to the bottom of the first inning here in this potentially championship game between Bethpage and South Shore. But Bethpage, showing they're not going to go down easy. They put 3 on the board in the top half of the first inning. All 4 of the first 4 batters up in the game managed to get hits. You had Logan Walters with the double, but it was Jason Sessu who had the big knot, knocking around 2 as there were 4 hits total. And Bethpage scoring 3 on 4, and with the dead ball, runner interference play to end the inning. Now we head to the bottom half of the inning where South Shore are going to look to come up and try to get these runs back. South Shore's offense has been on a heck of a run here at this tournament, just in their postseason run to begin with, as Dean Scarangelo, Stefan Greppo, Chase, Curro, the 3 batters going to be up here for South Shore in the bottom half of this inning. South Shore wearing those light blue jerseys with the red and white. And you got Bethpage, who's got more of that lighter shade of gray-ish. As the first pitch going to be bounced in the dirt, hit off the catcher, and be ball 1 to Scarangelo. So Scarangelo now facing the 1-0 count. Pitch going to come in, be a first called strike, as he's going to look at the first 2, as the count now going to be 1-1. Pitch sprayed out towards first base, playing it off the 1-hop, running over, stepping on the bag is Kenny, and that's going to be the first out.
Now batting number 29.
Perfectly played in the field by Kenny as he knocked that one down off his chest, scooped it up, took it to the bag. With Grippo now coming up. Bid first baseman bats from the left side. As Walters looks in, readies, fires it in, ball low and away outside, 1-0. Looking at the defense for Bethpage, it's Boda, Sessa, Daly in the outfield left to right, and on the infield from first to third, Kenny, Pelkis, Romano, Felino, and behind the plate it's all with Walters throwing the pitches as that one evens up the count at 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. That one another called ball outside in that same corner. Grippo showing here he's not going to pull that bat down to the outside. Now he's going to push this one out towards short. Played off the 1 bounce. Can't be held by Romano. And South Shore is going to have their first runner on base. Here with 1 out in the bottom half of the first.
Number 17, Chase Curl.
And, that's a really difficult ball to field for the shortstop there. So, usually what you would score that as an error, but that's just a tough hit. That's a really solid infield hit, and it's tough to make that all the way over to first base in time.
Curl sees the first one high and away. That'll be ball 1. Walters comes bat set and fires that one in. Curl with the big hack. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom half of the first inning, the wind blowing out to center field just a little bit, as maybe you can see the flag moving on your screen. Is now the 1-1 going to come in low and inside, but it's a called strike 1 and 2. Runner trying to advance down the second, throw not going to be nearly in time. So on the pass ball, Grippo going to head on over to second. One ball, 2 strikes, so Walters just needs one more to finish him off. And there it is. Curro goes down swinging, and now quickly South Shore. 2 outs in the bottom half of this first inning.
Number 22, Jake Romero.
Romero going to be the 4th guy up in this order. Had himself quite the tournament so far, as this one going to be sprayed off foul down that first base line. Nothing in 1 with the runner standing at second. 2 outs, bottom of the first. South Shore trailing 3-0, looking to get on the board here. Another foul ball up on the plate, smacked the screen. As it seems like Logan Walters is locked in here early in this first inning. Oh-2 pitch. Again, another foul ball in the foul ground down the first base line, out of play. That one going to be bounced, gets all the way to the backstop. Heading towards third is Grippo. He's in there safely, and he throws his hands up for the time.
You know, he ended up being safe, but that was a really quick field and throw by Giacchio, so I'm impressed, and I wouldn't want to steal too much if I'm South Shore.
That one going to come to the backstop as well, and Giacchio going to stay put down there at third. But Logan Walters, those last 2 pitches looking a little wild. Is now with the count back 2-2. Pitch comes in, and another foul ball popped up out of play behind the plate.
Romero doing a really good job of battling off some pitches that are borderline strikes, borderline balls, but I think it's always smart to choke up here and, you know, swing at some pitches he might not need to, and he's doing a good job of hitting them out of bounds.
He caught that one off the nub of the bat, keep himself alive here. And Giacchio looks like he's going to be ready to go down there from third at any ball that might potentially get away. Walters dishes that one in, and another defensive hack.
What is that, six foul balls now?
Sounds about right. Romero just doing a heck of a job playing defense on the play. So the count's still 2-2. That one popped back up again.
I did get confirmation. That one was the 6th foul ball.
Walters with the 2-2. That one's put in play. Headed towards short. Romano going to scoop. Fire towards first. That one gets away and goes out of play. In the second is Romero. That'll go E6, but the run's going to score. And just like that, South Shore's back within 2. It's 3-1 Bethpage.
And South Shore puts up a run there, but, you know, they got on base with what was maybe an error there and get on base and get a score there with another error. So this isn't the typical powerhouse South Shore offense that we're used to seeing.
And Giacchio going to hold the hand back up here behind home plate as he gets plunked on the helmet. And all of a sudden, Logan Walters here looking a little out of sync.
Next up, number 2, Joe Irachi.
Is now Joe Irachi going to come up. Runners at first and second, 2 down. That one goes all the way to the backstop. Runner's going to stay put, though, as it was played well by Aiuo, turning around, scooping it up off the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. Walters again with another one, same spot. Aiuo quick to get back there. Doubling it to 2 balls and no strikes. That one's going to come inside, but they call it a ball, so the count will be 3-0. Tying runs on base. Arachi trying to keep the inning alive. Is that one going to go low and away, far outside, and now the bases are going to be loaded for the 7th place hitter and Lorenzo Mino. Mino playing second base in the 4th game of the tournament here for South Shore. That one's going to be the first strike we've seen here from Logan Walters in a little bit. As even in that long at bat to Romero, some of the pitches outside. Mineo going to play defense to the plate with that one, but it's going to be in defensive ground as now it'll be 0-2. Down to his last strike, facing an 0-2 count against Walters. Pitch on that far outside corner rung him up, so that's going to end the half inning. Walters going to jog back, leaving the bases loaded. South Shore gets on the board. It's 3-1 Bethpage as we head to the top of the second here from Logan Field.
All right, welcome back to Logan Field in Endicott, New York. We're doing the Little League World Series State Championship for the 10U division. Just want to clarify and apologize. Might have had some confusion on which team is which. Bethpage is the visiting team. They'll be there at the top of the inning. South Shore, the home team, will be hitting in the bottom of the inning. I believe I said the wrong name there at the top of the first. But we've seen a great baseball game so far. 3-1 lead for Bethpage, which is not what you might have expected going by stats headed into the game. Bethpage lost 7-17 to South Shore just yesterday. But Bethpage now leading right now in the driver's seat 3-1.
Well, and you saw there in the bottom half of that first inning, South Shore, of course, I wouldn't say they're necessarily off their game here to get this game started today, but it wasn't, like you said, the South Shore team that we expected coming out of the gate here. And obviously they got a lot of time to settle in, but of course if they lose this game, they're going to have to come back and play another game later, and that's definitely a situation you don't want to see yourself in.
And yeah, now this is already the 3rd most runs that South Shore has allowed in any game. They allowed 7 yesterday to Bethpage. They allowed 4 back in the sectional tournament to Greenwich Village, and now 3 to Bethpage again. So defensively and offensively, not quite what we're used to seeing from South Shore. Jack Filonero up to bat to kick off the second inning for Bethpage. A nice strike there in the outside upper corner.
Is the count going to be 1-2 here with Bethpage leading 3-1 in the top half of the second?
High fly ball into center field and handled quite easily by Curro.
So one quickly away, and now you go down to the 9 spot in the order. Once you get back up there, you're going to head back to the top of the order. And Bethpage, of course, you saw those hitters locked in at the top of the lineup against Scarangella to get started today.
Quick strike seen by Daly, but you certainly, if you're a pitching staff, you don't want to run into Romano, Walters, Sasa with just 1 out. Roller down the first baseline, but goes foul. Pitcher chases it down. So looking at an 0-2 count.
And that was a really late foul call, if we're being honest.
It was a late foul call. I agree. Got to make sure that a player touches it foul before there's an official call, but you could tell it was going to be a foul a bit earlier than that, yeah. Swing and a miss. So quick 2 outs for Scarangelo, and looking at 2 outs, maybe 3 straight to start off the second inning, much different than the first.
And if he can retire 3 in a row here, not that we're trying to play broadcast jinx here, that would be a good way to turn it around for South Shore after leaving the bases loaded.
So really painting the outside corners here. Quick 0-1 count for Romano. And a high pitch, but Romano swings, trying to protect the plate a little bit, but now he's facing an 0-2 count.
That count probably would have been an even 1-1 if he had held back off it, but you can see that Bethpage wants to get the offense in any way they can.
And there's a little bit of a fly out to the right side, and it is a fly out to the second baseman, Mineo. So 1-2-3 inning for South Shore, holding Bethpage to 0 runs in the second inning. It is 3-1, Bethpage in the lead. We'll have the bottom of the second with you in just 1 minute.
Back to Logan Field here in Endicott, bottom half of the second inning. South Shore left the bases loaded in the bottom half of inning number 1. Then Bethpage came on back up and went down 1-2-3 if you're just tuning in here on My Team Media stream. It'll be Gavin Snell, John Iasona, and Dean Scarangelio, 9-1-2 here in the bottom half of the second as this one's bounced in the dirt and gets away, ball 1. Is that one going to catch the low outside corner for strike 1? So 8-9-1 here for South Shore in the bottom half of the second inning as now Walter's going to fire back to 1-1. This one hit out shallow right field, going to drop in for a base hit. Throw going to head to first, but he's going to be called safe there. A close play down there at first, probably closer than you would think. But Daly, had a good read on the ball, getting it into Kenny. Looking at the wrong side of the scorebook. Iasona, the left fielder, second lefty batter we've seen here from South Shore in this game. Now going to dig in as Walter's going to fire that one high and away outside, ball 1.
Bethpage really solidly defensive, though. Even if a ball rolls to the outside or the inside part of the outfield, there could be a play at first, play at second, wherever it's close. Hit to the outfield is not necessarily a hit. You can still get thrown out, and it really shows South Shore they're going to have to run to the bases every single time. No jogging.
You'll knock that one down with the chest protector, but still the runner advanced to second on the wild pitch. Coming back with a strike, Walters, making things 1-2. Quickly right back at it. This one's going to be sprayed off foul. This will be 2-2. With Iasona, the 9th batter in the South Shore order. Scarangelio waiting on deck. Runner at second, nobody out. That'll be ball 3. And now the count quickly going to be full. Full count pitch, high and away. Bat going to be flipped aside as now it'll be first and second for South Shore with the walk taken by Iasona.
Now batting number 25, Gene Scarangello.
We are going to get a mound visit now from the coaches from Bethpage.
And I think really the message needs to be to Walters, you're totally okay. You're throwing a lot of pitches that are very close to being strikes. There were some really close calls there towards the end of that count, so you don't need to worry about changing anything too much. I'd say just keep hitting your spots, and you're going to get some calls eventually. I don't think you want to make any major changes. Don't want to mess up with any of the flow we had during that first inning.
And now we go back to the top of the order, though, so that was probably a really good spot to come out here. Now that you got runners at first and second, third base is open, as Walter's going to get that call, like you said, coming in low with that one. Garangelio grounded out to first, back in the top of the first to make the first out, and now a little defensive hack going to go back to the pitcher, throw over to third, and they're going to go for the force play to get the out over there at the corner. So that'll be a 1-5 put away at third to retire Gavin Snell.
Next up, number 29, Stephen Grippo.
And Scarangelio is going to be at first. So now you got the same situation, first and second, a little bit more speed on the base pass this time around, though, but you got one out on the board, as this one's going to miss high and away for ball one. Rebo singled this first time up and came around to score South Shore's only run on the board to this point. Is that one going to miss as well and be ball two from Walters? 2-0 pitch. He caught that one off the end of the bat, so it'll be 2-1. Can see these South Shore hitters trying to be a little bit conscious of their swings here in the second inning. Is another ball going to miss from Walters? As we got 3 balls, 1 strike on the board. Pitch going to miss low inside, ball 4. He's going to get to toss the bat aside, and now the bases are going to be Jet for Chase Curro.
Number 17, Chase Curro.
With still just 1 out. See Bethpage trying to play up a little bit on the infield as they're going to try to get the play at the plate, but a strike going to come in for Curro with 1 down here in the bottom half of the second inning.
I mean, even if you're the third baseman, second baseman, you field an infield ball, I think you need to go home with that because you really want to hold on to this lead as long as you can. You haven't been up over South Shore even in the last game that you played, so if you have a lead, you need to prevent it any way you can. I know it's easy to just take the out, but I really think they need to go home on anything here.
Now down 0-2 after the swing from Curl, and that one fouling it back to the screen. Pitch going to miss from Walters. First ball of the at-bat. 1-2 pitch. Just over the third base coach's head. So that'll keep the count 1-2.
Curro swinging a little bit late on these, really needs to load up and swing a little bit earlier. He's been behind on a few of these, and I think he's hitting it well with those fouls. He just really needs to straighten it out.
1-2 pitch, and he jumped about out of his shoes trying to swing at that one. Couldn't quite get a piece. 2 down. 2 strikeouts from Walters here already on the day.
You know, Walters did get punished a little bit earlier with some of those ball calls, but I think really painting the outside of the corners and really making those batters work has served him well. I think it's worth the risk.
Romero going to get plunked with that one, so he's going to be hindered on that right hip as he's going to take a few steps, take down to a knee. That does bring South Shore back within 1, though. We'll have to see how Romero holds up after this. He's going to stand up and put the helmet back on and walk towards first. That's something we'll keep an eye on the rest of the game.
So it looks like we might be getting a pinch hitter coming in here. Joe Barone, number 35, subbing into catch for Giasio.
As there was quite the confusion there after everything that happened with Romero, but he stays in this ball game and he's down there at first. Base is still going to be loaded with 2 outs, and now South Shore down by just 1. That's taken for a strike. Looking back with the 0-1, that one's going to be a strike as well. As now Walters just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. 0-2 pitch, smacked out towards second base, can't be held at first, going to pick up, recover in time, and that'll be a 4-3 put away to end the inning. South Shore going to strand the bases loaded once more, but they pull it back within a run as now we got a 3-2 Bethpage score heading to the 3rd.
So like Colby just said, 3-2 lead for Bethpage heading into the top of the 3rd. We're not going to take a complete break, though, before the 3rd inning. We're going to talk to some guys that know the area, have been involved with the Union Endicott Little League, and learn a little bit more about the championship game that we're seeing. So first up, we're going to talk to Steve Wiseman. Steve, talk to me a little bit about this weekend.
It's been a great weekend. We've seen some really good play with some really good teams. It's exciting to see this in our area and have these kids here visiting from all over the state. We put on a pretty good experience for these kids, letting them see some of our area and just kind of, enjoying themselves and playing some great baseball.
Now, I heard that some of these players got to make a trip to a AA baseball game in Binghamton on Wednesday. How did that go?
It went great. They had there was a super splash day during the day game at that team at the Rumble Ponies. So the kids got to enjoy themselves, get wet, and watch a baseball game.
Always fun to see, especially when people coming from so out of town. South Shore over in Staten Island, Bethpage all the way in Long Island. So people really not used to the area coming in. And is it true that this tournament's going to be here for the next few years?
Yes, that's correct. We'll have this tournament for another 2 more years after this one, and so we'll get kids from all over the state. It's great.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say before we kick off the 3rd inning?
Nope, I think that's about it. Thanks for everybody that's watching, and hope you enjoy the game.
Awesome, and we are going to continue enjoying the game here, kicking off the top of the 3rd inning. Number 4, Logan Walters, going to kick off the action for Bethpage in the top of the 3rd. Early strike outside. That one's going to be a bit too much outside, the 1-1 count for Walters. Fly ball going left, but goes out of play. So 1-2 count. Scarangello really seems to like to push towards the left side of the zone, causing a 2-2 count. That one was too low, makes it 3-2. Some good patience from Scarangello. Not going to throw it right down the middle. Make sure he's throwing unhittable strikes if he does. But there was some contact on that one. Chance for a diving play, but hits the top of the fence, and the foul ball means we're going to be seeing another pitch thrown to Walters.
Well, and Walters just trying to hang his head up there, obviously being the first batter of the 2nd inning, trying to get this team off to a hot start with just a 1-run lead.
Walters fouls off again. Going to force another pitch in this at-bat. Just like his teammates in the dugout yelling, staying alive, that's what he's doing. And tiring out the pitcher even more. And he'll be happy to take a walk there, getting on base.
Next up, number 3, Jason.
Well, and in a
Silva.
situation like that, now you've reached twice, and Scarangello's starting to see these hitters. He's done it once before in this tournament. Well, South Shore and themselves have done it once before in this tournament, but you can see today's a different ball game, and Scarangello's seeing who the threats are.
So a strike pretty well outside for Sassa. And he holds back on that. You really don't want to pitch to Sassa. He had a double RBI single earlier in this game, scored 2, but just dribbles this one down the left side. safe at first. Ball not able to be handled by Grippo. So first and second now, both Walters and Sessa on base.
Well, and in a case like that where you get a slow roller that takes a couple of odd hops, your third baseman playing back a little bit on the dirt, the pitcher is clearly the one who's got to get over there and field that ball. Scarangella got the good read, but with the speed that comes from Sessa out of the box, there was no way that play was going to be closer than it was.
So Braden Ayul takes a ball to go up 1-0 in the count. Swings there, gets some contact, but a foul ball.
Ayula was the runner back in that first inning who got hit by the ball on the base path.
And what a play. Joe Arasi over at shortstop, makes a catch, heads up play, gets it right over to second base for the double play, and quickly ends. Quickly gets 2 outs, not ends the inning, sorry, but quick double play for Arasi. Goes from no outs to 2.
51, Sean Mack.
So Sean Mack pinch hitting now. Some great defense from South Shore, changed their scenario quick. They were looking at runners on first and second with no outs, but now they've got 2 outs, just a runner on first.
Well, and in a case like that, your shortstop playing heads up, that's what you got to see. Taking it right to the bag like that, just basically your center out there doing his job the right way.
Sean Mack facing a 2-1 count. Foul tip caught by the catcher, and that puts a quick end to the inning. South Shore faced some trouble early, allowed 2 straight batters to reach, but 3 quick outs gets them out of the inning. Bethpage leading South Shore 3-2. We'll be seeing South Shore at bat in the bottom of the third coming shortly.
Back we come to Logan Field in Endicott, bottom half of inning number 3. South Shore again leaving the bases loaded there as they've now left 6 on base through the first 2 innings. They are going to have 6, 7, 8 up here in the bottom half of this third inning. It was Arasi who made that great double play in the top half of inning number 3. And we have a situation down the right field line where we got a pitcher trying to get warm for South Shore. But they're going to have to send him back behind the fence here or to the dugout, and it looks like they're going to choose the dugout instead. Does serve as a bit of a distraction if you see that movement out of the corner of your eye for a pitcher. But now Walter's finally ready to go and comes home with a strike here to lead off the bottom half of the third. Bethpage put up 3 in the top half of that first inning. They haven't scored since. South Shore scored a run in each half inning so far. that they've been at the dish as Arachi, another foul ball, making this one an 0-2 count. So Walter's going to get the ball back. Is now allowed to settle in a little bit here, taking away a little bit of the sun. Wind's died down a little bit too. With Walters 0-2, missing the outside corner of the plate for ball 1. One, two, going to come upstairs and away, ball 2. Even things up to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Taking a couple odd hops towards second, misplayed at first, now going to be scooped up to first, not in time. There's Arasi going to get that left foot on the base, literally milliseconds before Kenny able to slam his foot on the bag. As Arasi going to be on first base with the infield single.
Now batting number 13, Alex Torres.
With Alex Torres now coming in as a pinch hitter here, trying to lay the bunt down, but caught it wrong off the bat for a strike.
And I really think this is where South Shore has to capitalize on getting someone on base early, no outs. I mean, they're used to putting up 15 runs a game. They've scored double digits in 7 of their 8 playoff games. So they just need something to really get going because they only have 2 through 3 innings.
And that one's going to be a 1-3 put away at first base as Torres put the slow roller in bounds. He was looking to get up there and lay the bunt down, advance the runner, and that's exactly what he did. So you can see South Shore trying to get up here and tie this one up.
26, Gavin Sneller.
Snell going to be up here, reached on a single his last time up, leading off the bottom half of the second inning. Got forced out over at third base on a 1-5 play as he's going to take a strike looking on the way by. 0-1 with 1 down.
It'll be interesting to see how long South Shore keeps taking on those first pitches as they need to be a little bit more aggressive, and that's what I would call aggressive.
That's going to take a bounce. Going to be played out there in center by Sessa, getting it in. Shortstop and Romano are going to run this ball in, but now you're going to have runners at the corners with 1 down.
Next up, number 24, John.
And if you're Bethpage, ideally in this situation, you're going to be looking at the double play.
Okay, you got it.
We got a special runner coming in here. Jason Rocchio down there at first base in the place of Gavin Snell after the single. South Shore trying to get themselves in the best place with the speed. Immediately he's going to go and head down for second. You can see it right out of the gate, but he's a quick, speedy little guy out there. But now at 1-0, that takes away the double play chance for Bethpage out there. Is that one going to miss low? It'll be ball 2. It's still just 1 down. Bethpage still leading by a run 3-2. Is that one finally going to catch the zone? It'll be 2-1 for Logan Walters. Iasona going to drop this one down in front of the plate. Walters going to pick it up. Misplayed at first. Run going to come and score in Arasi. This ball game going to be tied up at 3-3. And South Shore going to have runners at the corners with just 1 out.
Next up, number 25, Dean Scarangelo.
So we'll be all tied up at 3-3. We've got 1 down. This one going to miss outside. Taking off, heading for second. Iola going to hold up with this one. So Iasono going to get the stolen base, being at second. Now the umpire is going to call time to dust off the plate.
And Scarangelo really has a chance to help himself here. He was pitching. He let up 3 runs in the top of the first and has really cleaned up his pitching now, but 2 runners in scoring position instead can give himself the lead and really work his way back.
Scarangelo going to look at one go by there, so it'll be 1-1-1. With Walters now tossing that one up and away, ball 2. First base, the lone empty one. All tied up at 3, bottom half of the third from Logan Field. Scarangelo, big swing and a miss at that. 1 ball and 2 strikes down. Big swing and a miss at that one. And Scarangelo going to be sent down on strikes. As Walter's going to be relieved to finally get that second out. But Grippo going to try to come up and do his job here and not let South Shore go down without taking the lead here in this one. With Walter sending that one all the way to the bat stop. Walter's going to try to run in, cover the plate, lays the tag down. They call the runner safe. And there was some yelling coming from the Bethpage dugout. And Walter certainly looked shaken after that one, laying down. To try to make that tag, but South Shore are going to jump on top of this one 4-3. And the count going to be 1-0. And you got the runner racing down for third at that one in Iasono. Is that one going to get away as well? Walters wasn't going to let the same play happen twice. Iasono ran back to third, and it'll be 2-0. Grippo, when he gets a hold of one, you can see, and he can knock him in play. 2 singles already in this game, and now he gets a good piece of that one, but it'll go out into the parking lot down that left field line. South Shore a run in each of the first 2 half innings and now taking a 4-3 lead here. 1 bounce out to second base, going to be scooped up, thrown into the glove of Kenny, and that's going to end the half inning. South Shore going to strand a runner at third. A little bit of controversy, but they get 2 on the board, and now they're going to take a 4-3 lead as we head to the top half of inning number 4 from Logan Field.
All right, welcome back to Endicott, New York. We're going to get things going a little bit before the top of the 4th of the inning. I'm going to be talking to someone who, not self-proclaimed, but some people refer to him as the town historian.
Hi, everybody. It's been a great week here in Endicott. This field here, this place is a field that I played on, and many people on our board and family members have played on, with some great talent that have come through here.
So we talked a little bit in the last inning that it's locked up for the next 2 years, this tournament here. What does that mean to the town?
We've been a tremendous help for the town. We've been able to get some help from the county and the village and be able to upgrade our facilities and put the town on the map, along with some other events that will be coming up here the rest of the summer.
Is there anything else you want to promote to everyone listening?
Well, we just want to give a thank you to Felix Roma Bakery, who really helped us out with the rolls, and also Butcher Boys, who came through with a lot of things that we were able to grill here. So in a couple of weeks, mid-August, there will be the Dick's Sporting Goods Open right down here at Enjoy Golf Course, where the seniors play. It's a major event, and we're looking forward to that.
All right, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
So top of the 4th, a chopping ground ball into left field.
Carlos.
And that was Anthony Bada,
Carlos.
the left fielder who reaches first base.
Before he hit that, you remember? Thank you.
And so if you're just joining us right now, we have got Bethpage versus South Shore in the New York State Championships for the 10U Division of Little League. South Shore was down for most of this game, just went up to a 4-3 lead, headed into the top of the 4th. Bethpage now gets a chance to maybe fight for that lead back. That's Nicholas Bissett at bat, pinch hitter, who took a ball, then takes a strike. Just painted the outside corner. Inside pitch, pop up, and goes foul. So Bissett lives to see another day. 1-2 count for him. High and inside, but swings and a miss. Bissett with a strikeout, and it's going to be 1 out now. Bada still at first base. And Jude Lapertosa pinch hitting. Bada makes his way to second base safely. So that's James Hafner, who's pinch hitting for Bada, that had the single and made his way to second base. And this is Jude Lapersada pinch hitting in the 8 slot. Gonna get an infield conference with Scarangello. And so as we've got a minute here, Colby, I just want to talk a little bit about how this game has gone, because South Shore is really used to blowing teams out. They win by an average of 13.4 runs. They've really not just been able to get as many runs as they're used to, but I think what a sign of a great team is when you're really able to scrap your way to a win. It's not their usual way of winning. They've had some walks. They've had to do a lot of sneaky base running, but it's worked, and now they're in the lead. What do you have to think about that?
Well, and that just goes to show what Bethpage really brings to the table. Of course, South Shore knew coming in here that this wasn't a team that was just going to go down easy, but Bethpage has really rose into the challenge of trying to play a game here, trying to force a second game later. They lost once in this tournament, and they've kind of got themselves in the mindset we don't want to lose again.
So South Shore has clawed their way back into the lead, but Bethpage only 1 run behind. Foul back behind the left fence. So 3-1 is the count for Lapertosa. Grounder to the shortstop, some trouble handling it. And now we have a 1-3 situation, first and third. That's James Hafner over at third, Jude Lapertosa at first. Only 1 out. So Ben Salemi will be pinch hitting in the 9 slot, looking at first and third with only 1 out. And then it's the top of the lineup again for Bethpage.
Well, we are going to see a new pitcher out here for South Shore. As we got a 17 out there on the hill. Chase Curro going to be the new pitcher to take over here for South Shore. Curro started this game out in center field. Pitching center field is 2 primary positions.
And yeah, I think that stuff is important, but I think the most important thing to know about Curro, especially if you're an opposing batter, he gets his haircut once a week. So I think shows really how detail-oriented he is. He really cares about being a perfectionist, not wanting his hair to go out of style. That's impressive. Once a week? That can get expensive quick.
Yeah, it definitely can.
So Curro going to get his first batter now. And it's Ben Salemi, a pinch hitter we haven't seen yet today, pinch hitting in the 9 slot. outside for an early ball. Throws down to third.
I'm not going to lie, I'm more a once every 2 months kind of guy myself.
If you're just joining us, we were talking about haircuts. Skuro, the pitcher, gets his haircut once a week. That's what it says in our notes. But 2-0 is what Salemi's facing right now. And Kuro finally finds the outside zone of the strike zone. Sorry for a second, but Ben Salemi now facing a 2-1 count. Roller to shortstop. He looks over at third, and we're going to have a pickle. And a tag out. James Hafner tried to run home, but Joe Rossi, who's definitely been the defensive MVP for South Shore, looks him down, sees that he's going to try to run for home, and gives up the runner at first, prevents the run.
Well, and that was a good play. Like you said, defensive MVP, of course. But just a heads-up play by Yaccio behind the plate, too, just trying to get there and get ready.
So now 2 outs, first and second. Now it's going to be first and third. Jude Lapertosa makes her way over to third, and it's a first and third situation now, which can be advantageous for Bethpage. You can throw a fake steal out there, try to bait the catcher into throwing it down, and maybe sneaking in a tying run here.
Well, and Kuro had that wild pitch. Just, again, this is his first inning out there trying to settle in.
Ball goes to third base, but the throw is made at second, and that's an out.
You could see the hesitation on that play, not knowing where to go with it.
Snell wasn't exactly sure where to throw it at first, but found Mineo over at second and holds on to the 1-run lead for South Shore, who get a chance to extend their lead in the bottom of the fourth. Coming at you in just a minute.
Back we come to Logan Field in Endicott. Bottom half of inning number 4. South Shore going to send up 3-4-5 to the plate as they continue to hold on to this 4-3 lead. Got a new pitcher in there for Bethpage. It's Jason Sessa taking over on the hill after playing center field for the first 3.5 innings of the game. Logan Walters moving to shortstop for Bethpage. And that'll be something to keep an eye on here in this half inning. As now, if you really think about it, depending on how many innings you're expecting Sessa to go out there, he could be your guy who finishes off this ball game. So he's going to want to lock himself in early. Looks like he throws a little bit lower on that right side arm slot than the South Shore hitters were used to seeing from Walters. Sessa doing a little bit more leg work too. His move's a little bit more delicate to get to the ball to the plate.
Now pitching for Bethpage, number 3, Jason Sessa.
And funnily enough, Chase Curro, who actually just came in to pitch for South Shore, will be leading off the fourth inning not behind the plate, but at the plate.
And he struck out swinging his both his first 2 times up, pardon me. So he's going to be kind of looking to right his own ship here at the plate.
Especially now that he has to help himself on the mound, because the more runs he puts up, the more runs he can allow.
Certainly, for sure, as that one missed high and away outside ball 1. And again, another one going to come on in there. That'll be ball 2. Two-0 pitch, going to be called ball 3 upstairs. So we'll be at 3-0. Four 4-3 lead for South Shore here, bottom half of inning number 4. South Shore wins this game, it's all over, and they take the trophy. That one going to be dropped in there for a strike, because it'll be 3-1 now.
Great job painting the outside corner there, and good perseverance. You go down 3-0 in a count. It's really easy to just throw a ball and move on to the next batter, but 2 really nice strikes here.
That one going to be hit out towards short, picking it up, firing it to first, not going to be in time. As Walters slung that one over to Kenny at first. But the runner hustling on down, Curro safe there at first.
Jake Romero.
Is now Romero going to step on in and take a ball 1. So Curro reaching there for the first time today. As the 1-0 going to be slapped out towards short again. Flipped over to second, trying to look for the turn back to first. But Pelk is going to hold on to that baseball. And so it'll just be the forced play. And Romero going to be on courtesy of the fielder's choice.
And I think that's a really mature decision from Pelkos to hold on to that and not throw it to first, because he knew he wasn't going to get him. You're risking an overthrow, letting the runner get into scoring position. Not a lot of 10U Little Leaguers are able to hold on to it and not go for the out at first.
Bounce play towards short again. Going to get the force play again. This one he is going to throw, but the runner's still going to be safe in time. So Barone going to be on first. But now there's going to be 2 down.
A lot of credit to the Bethpage infield. You know, they've seen pretty much every pitch come back to them. No strikeouts, no hits to the outfield, and they've held true in a lot of ways.
Bunt going to roll in the foul ground. Stayed fair for quite a ways, but then finally just went over that white chalk line, so it'll be a 0-1 to Arachi. Arachi walked his first time up back in the first inning, singled and came around to score in the third. Oh-1 with 2 down. Pitch going to be in there for a called strike from Sessa. Now he's looking to get this last strike and get out of the inning unscathed. Going into the infield to back it up is the 0-2. Going to be bounced up the middle. Sessa going to knock it down with the glove. Turns, fires over to first. That'll be 1-3 to get Arachi. And that's going to end the bottom half of the 4th. South Shore strands a runner, but we remain with the same score. It's 4-3 Bethpage as we head to the top half of the 5th.
Heck of a play from Sassa, knocking that ball down, staying with it, finding the ball and getting it to first, all before Arasi made it to first and holds on to the 1-run deficit for Bethpage. We'll be back at you in just a moment with the top of the 5th inning. Welcome back to Endicott, New York for the New York State Little League 10U Championship. We've got South Shore and we've got Bethpage. We're in the top of the 5th inning, and South Shore with a 4-3 lead, but Bethpage up to bat with a chance to maybe equalize the game or take that lead back. Logan Walters, who started the game pitching, gets hit by pitch there, took one right in the back, and jots right over to first base. Didn't even stop for a second there.
Well, and Curl's pounding a lot of fastballs in there, and of course at this age that's a lot of what you're going to see, but that one just kind of came out of his hand draw and just glided up in there and caught him on the back on the way by. Sessa's really been a big part of this Bethpage offense today. He had that big knock in the first inning and scored 2 runs. Now facing a 2-0 count here. He singled also, but then managed to get tagged out on the base paths back in the 3rd inning.
So has a nice inside strike there, but swings and misses. Ball makes its way past the catcher, and Walters makes his way over to second base. So a 2-1 count now. Sessa now has someone in scoring position, though. He had 2 RBIs, as you said, in the first inning. Hard grounder right to the pitcher. Curro does a great job of making sure Walters doesn't advance to third base and throws out Sessa at first. So 1 out. Walters remains at second base.
That's a really good play on the defensive side of the ball. You got Curl just looking at the heads up. Obviously, couldn't quite get to it, but knocking it over there, throwing it down to first, making sure to knock it over to third is the right call.
So Braden Ull takes a far outside ball to kick off his third at-bat. Had a single in the first inning, lined out to the shortstop Joe Arachi in the 3rd, and is now up again in the 4th. Faces a 1-1 count with 1 out. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Tyler Aiken alongside Colby Smith for My Team Media, and you can be watching this on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. You can watch it anywhere. And seems like the third baseman, Snell, can throw it anywhere. Makes the throw all the way from third to an outstretched Grippo at first base, and they're going to call that an out.
Oh, and in a case like that, first was kind of out of my view sight a little bit, but you could see the umpires kind of looking at each other, trying to decide what the call was going to be there, and ultimately you give it to the one that's got the better judgment call, and that was the home plate umpire, so they go with the second out.
And it looked like a good call there. Grippo really had to extend at first base, but it seemed like he got a hold of the ball before he stepped off the base. And that one, there will be no doubt, 6-3 play. Grippo caught that one with ease. And we've got 3 quick outs going into the bottom of the 4th. Still 4-3 South Shore.
Bottom half of inning number 5 coming up here from Logan Field at Endicott.
South Shore, number 7, Jason Rocchio.
South Shore going to send up 7, 8, 9 to the plate, and is Jason Rocchio going to take his first swings of the day after coming in and being a pinch runner in that last half inning, subbing in place of Barone. First pitch going to sail in tight and be ball 1. As South Shore continues to hang on to this 1-run lead, trying to stretch it a little bit more here before we head to that 6th. Is that one going to be a called ball 2 as well? Ball 2 going to be in there for a strike. So it'll be 2-1. Snell and Iasono are going to be the next 2 men up in the 8-9 spots pending a change. Is that one going to come in, catch the bat of Rocchio? So it'll be 2-2.
That's a good call. Right up the knob.
Sessa deals this one in, swing and a miss from Rocchio, and that'll be out number 1 for South Shore here in the bottom half of inning number 5.
You got it.
And what's really big right now for Bethpage is getting the outs with Snell and Iacono because, I mean, you're looking at the 8-9 batters, and the top of the order has been really strong for South Shore, so Bethpage really needs to capitalize on the bottom of the order now.
Now 0-1 on Snell.
Jason.
Is that one going to miss up and away?
Anderson.
Anderson coming in to sub for Gavin Snell. So he's the one facing this 1-1 out count, and that'll be ball 2, 2-1. So Jace Anderson in his first at bat watches ball 3 go by, so it'll now be 3-1. Sessa trying to get these last 2 outs, send Bethpage back up to the plate in the top half of the 6th inning, down by just 1. As Anderson gets good contact on that, but it drops narrowly in the foul ground off in the corner. Count going to be loaded. As the 3-2 payoff pitch going to be knocked down the first baseline foul. Anderson trying to hang in there. Big intimidating presence in that right-handed batter's box. As he's going to watch ball 4 go by, he's going to flip the bat aside, and he's got himself a 1-out walk.
Next up, number 24, John Iacono.
We go back to the 9 spot in the order. Is this one going to be in there for a strike to Iasono? Runner going to be at first and Anderson after the walk. Sessa going to fire in the 0-1. Iasono going to catch it off the bat. That'll make it 0-2 with 1 down. South Shore can't manage to tack on anymore in the bottom half of the 5th. Bethpage is going to be looking for 1 in the top half of the 6th to tie things up and keep the game going. As the 1-2 going to be sprayed out towards center, drops in off the 1-hop, fired into second base, and they're going to call the out on Anderson. Couldn't quite get his foot in time. He's still got a runner at first base. 2 outs going to be on the board, though. And we're going to go back to the top of the order for Dean Scarangella. He's gone 0 for 3 on the day, and now he's going to see himself a strike in there. Iasono staying close to that bag at first. They're going to call this one dead ball. Scarangella going to flip his bat aside, and now it'll be first and second with 2 down.
Next up, number 29, Steven Grippo.
Grippo going to come and get a taunt from his head coach out here. He's had himself a pretty good day, 2 for 3, but he did ground out in his last at bat, coming back in the 3rd. Scored the first run of the day for South Shore. Is he's going to watch that one drop in there for a strike. 0-1 out towards center. That one going to be caught. And that's going to strand a pair for South Shore. We head to the top half of the sixth. They get a 4-3 South Shore lead. Bethpage looking to tie this one up.
All right, welcome back. We are heading into what might be the final inning of the state tournament. But before we get into things, we have a chance to talk to Tom Ferrero, the tournament director.
Thank you, Tyler. Yes, I just want to take a moment and thank everyone for making this wonderful week of baseball a great possibility. First, I'd like to thank Dan and Chris and Michael at the state level for giving us this honor to host the 8 to 10U championships this week and for the next few years. I also like to thank our board, Endicott Little League board, for their countless hours and their time making sure the grounds and the fields and everything was in the proper place. And a huge thank you goes out to our Village Endicott Parks Department. Darren and Juice did a great job every night making sure we're ready to play, as well as all the fans and local fans and also the 8 teams and their families for traveling here. It's been a great week of baseball, and we've made a lot of friendships and had a lot of laughs and just a lot of great baseball. So we want to thank everyone for coming out.
And a big thank you to Tom Ferrero and Union Endicott for having us, My Team Media, here to stream the game. And the stakes have never been higher. It's the top of the 6th inning. Bethpage up to bat, down 4-3. If they can't at least tie this game, the state tournament will be over, and South Shore will get the win. A bobble ball at shortstop will certainly help things, though. And that was James Hoffner, who reaches first base on an error by Arachi. So as I said before, it's a double elimination tournament. Bethpage already lost one. South Shore undefeated. So if South Shore wins, the tournament is over. Bethpage needs to win this and win the next game. We're in the final inning of play on game 1 here, and Bethpage down 4-3, so they need to at least tie it to move things on. And so no outs. James Hoffner on first base. It's as good a position as any to be in to come back if you're Bethpage.
Well, and that's certainly the case with a couple of guys up here that you know can swing the bat well.
And that bat was swung well, but caught in center field by Curro. Or no, Curro moved to pitcher, so it was caught in center field. We don't know quite who was switched out there. It looks like Johnny Iasano. But regardless, 1 out, runner on first. And we're going to see Jude Lapertosa.
Well, and if he's able to get on base here, that's going to set up a spot where Bethpage is looking at that 9 spot coming up.
Quick low strike for Lapertosa. Makes it in between the third baseman and the shortstop. So a single for Jude. And all of a sudden, first and second, runner in scoring position. The tying runner in scoring position, that is. So Caden Daly, the 9-hitter, will be coming up to bat. Daly made it on as on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. That was his first at-bat of the day. And now faces 1 out, runners on first and second in the top of the 6th. Watches a high and away ball for the first pitch.
Well, in a case like this, you're just going to try to hold up. You get that good pitch that you want to see. Third base open here for Bethpage. They need a run to score.
Ball goes out again, 2-0. You can really be patient here. You have one out to sacrifice, but even a single, a solidly hit single, likely ties this game up.
Well, the outfielders are playing in a little bit from what we've typically seen here too, so you have to really get good placement on that ball if you want your guy down there at second to score.
Fly ball towards first base, and it's caught by Grippo. So Bethpage down to potentially their final out of the tournament. But leading batter Anthony Romano will be coming up to bat.
Next up, number 26, Anthony Romano.
And in a case like this, your number one guy at the top of the order, usually looked at from this level all the way on up to the pros, usually looked at your spark plug guy there at the top of the order, shows up in the big moments, can get it done. So Romano going to look to be that guy right now more than ever, because I'm sure in anybody's case they wouldn't want to run like this to end on their shoulders.
You know, Romano plays shortstop, lead batter, just like you said, really a spark plug and a leader for this team. So a chance to certainly help out that team, but watches strike one go right by him.
He's gone 1 for 3 on the day so far. Single came around to score in that Bethpage first inning. It's been their lone 3 runs on the day.
Ball well outside now. 1-1 count. And those runners playing very conservatively, not taking too big of leads at all. Don't want to get thrown out for the last one. Ball comes low and bounces. But a great job from Giacchio, blocking that ball, not letting anyone advance a base. Romano gets a hit. And a dive. That's the game. That's the championship. South Shore wins it.
This is the roster for Bethpage. They'll announce them after one for the other guys.
South Shore went down 3-0 in the top of the first inning, but they played a really gritty game. They allowed no runs after that, and they made their way all the way with a comeback. 4 unanswered runs. They hold out in the top of the 6th. And South Shore wins the New York State 10U Little League Championship. What a catch from John Iacano in center field. That seals the game for South Shore. On behalf of my team media, Colby Smith and myself, Tyler Eakin, thank you so much for tuning into this game. We are going to let you tune in directly to the awards ceremony after. We're going to hop off the mics and close things out for now, but you can keep watching and keep listening as we handle the awards ceremony. So thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day.
Congratulations to both Bethpage and South Shore on a game well played. We'll start with Bethpage. What's up?
Do they need help? Oh, but what did he want you to do? Oh, okay. Do you know that you guys know the pronunciations? Tell me when. Okay, we'll start with Bethpage. Number 26, Anthony Romano. Number 4, Logan Walters. Number 3, Jason Sessa. Number 20, Braden Ayul. Number 7, Luke Kenny. Number 12, Anthony Bada. Sorry, Anthony Boda. Number 1, Chase Pelkis. Number 5, Jack Filiano. Number 44, Jude La Portosa. Number 51, Sean Mack. Number 6, Nicholas Brissett. Number 15, James Hoffner. And number 19, Ben Salemi. And now for your champions, Bethpage. Sorry, South Shore. Bethpage was on the sheet, sorry. I know I won't lift that one up. Sorry, champions, South Shore. Good job to Bethpage. Thank you for coming. First up, number 25, Dean Scarangelli. Number 29, Stephen Grippo. Number 17, Chase Curro. Number 22, Jake Romero. Number 12, Peter Giacchio. Number 2, Joe Irachi. Number 23, Lorenzo Mineo. Number 26, Gavin Snell. Number 24, John Iasona. Number 13, Alex Torres. Number 7, Jason Raccio. Number 1, Jace Anderson. And number 34, Joe Barone. Thank you, congratulations to both the champions and runners-up. Thanks guys for coming, I appreciate it.